Welcome back to the arena. I'm Michael Coren. It's Moral Maze. Now, can evangelical Christians be lawyers? Surely not. Should children learn about sex, certain types of sex, very young? Ooh, I don't know. I have no idea. But Jack Fonseca from Campaign Life, he does. He knows everything. He's here. And let's begin with the sex education curriculum. We're going to show a clip here of what seems to me a very normal-looking, fairly young parent who's really just expressing some concerns about not being invited to the table. Can we see that clip now, please?
We cannot help but feel that the whole survey was merely a smokescreen to pretend there was parental support where none existed. We demand transparency. We have a right to a seat at the table.
I think that's entirely reasonable. Whatever the results of any consultation, parents are the most valuable, important part of this equation, and it seems that they are the people who've been ignored in all this.
Absolutely. And, you know, the lady you spoke, you just showed there was from the a press conference that was held on just a couple days ago. Mm-hmm. And she represented the Hispanic community in Toronto, or a Hispanic community. And there were representatives from the Chinese community, from the other multicultural communities, a broad range. And, you know, one of the points that came across was even by virtue of the farcical online consultation survey only being available in English and French, you're marginalizing and excluding the 25% of Ontarians who don't speak English and French as their first language.
You know, I didn't even know that. That's a very good point.
I mean, they can't understand it. So it's farcical to say we're getting the input of all Ontarians when these parents couldn't understand the document if you gave it to them in English.
And if you go to any high school, quite rightly, all sorts of information will be in numerous languages. But this vital sex education consultation only in English and French, and let's face it, the vast majority of Ontarian parents, French is not going to be the issue. And if they don't speak English, if they come from another country, they wouldn't. And often they are some of the more conservative people. How interesting.
Yeah.
No conspiracy, though.
Well, at this press conference, it was pointed out that in the supposed consultation survey that was online, where only one parent per school was handpicked by the principal, there were no questions that actually asked about what people thought about the explicit nature of sex education that allowed them to comment on the draft curriculum or when they think certain things should be taught. None of that was there. It was all motherhood language about just generic stuff that there could only possibly be one answer. Everyone will agree with it, and it doesn't speak to the actual curriculum. And there was only one open-ended question in the whole survey that allowed people, if they wanted to try to comment on the sex ed portion of it. And it was limited to 34 words, barely the length of a tweet. So, that shows
long
that...
tweet.
Yeah, and you've got it up
characters?
on screen. There's a parent who sent us, they took a screen capture of their response, and they basically said, hey, I'm trying to submit comments here, and I'm limited to 34 words. 5, 6, Is this really getting the input of parents?
You know, this entire debate, it's gone on for some time, because it was put to sleep, if you like, and then resurrected. I think there are people who can overreact on one side, but also there are people who underreact on the other. This is not benign. There are parts, not all of it, but there are parts of it that are very controversial, to say the very least. That demands consultation with mothers and fathers, who are the people who are the prime educators and those who raise the children. Let's move on to the issue of Trinity Western. Looks like there won't be a law school at this evangelical university. I want to ask you a question, though. Why did they go through all this? Why did they say that if you're gay, you can't be in a relationship? Surely no gay evangelicals, if there are such things, are going to come forward anyway. I mean, it always seemed to be a tempest here.
Well, really there's a non-issue, and the policy, it was a broad policy that asked students who choose to enroll in that school, who choose to pay the fees to attend school there, that they adhere to biblical morality, and that they pledge not to engage in sexual relations outside of marriage between a man and a woman.
And how many young gay people would pay what would be quite a lot of money to go to a school to be told no? Exactly. So
zero.
Again, both sides becoming hysterical about something that really is a non-issue.
Well, this is really the fact that the BC government has now reneged on it had previously approved this Christian law school, and now it's reneged on it under political pressure from the law societies of Ontario, BC, and Nova Scotia. It shows that really what's at heart here is not any legitimate legal concern. It's anti-Christian bigotry. They despise Christian beliefs, and they're trying to keep Christians out of the legal profession.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far. Well, no, I don't think it is that, because there are different interpretations of Christianity, but I do think it is nonsensical. I know someone else who uses that phrase. I do think it's so gratuitous, because, as you say, it would never have arisen. And there wouldn't have been a case, and there's somebody who was funded to go to the law school and pay all of this money, tens of thousands of dollars, to be told no because you're in a same-sex relationship. It's something out of nothing.
Well, really, but there's a bigger issue here.
You've got 5 seconds.
They're trying to turn Christians into second-class citizens, where you cannot pursue a career in law.
That's going to be another show and a full one, I think. Hey, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.